Hello, my fellow Retrotopians, and welcome to episode number 118, where we will be talking about Ecco the Dolphin. First, let's talk about where you can find us. You can find our socials, Discord, Patreon, and the merch page over at linktree/Retrotopia. That's linktr.ee/Retrotopia. And also, real quick, Alan narrated a book. So that's pretty cool. It's called Half Made Up. I'm on chapter 5 and it's some pretty good shit. If you like listening to Alan here, you should check out the audiobook. Let me, real quick, I should have pulled this up before. I have it on Audible. The author, if you are looking for it, is James Dunlop. I'm not sure what else he's done, but this is my first James Dunlop experience. It's not my first Alan experience. Giggity. But yeah, throw him some support if you're able, or if you're into audiobooks. If you have an Audible account, I think it is free, or quote unquote free. Obviously, you got to subscribe to it. So that's how my dad's listening to it. I sent it over to him. He's got an Audible account that I got him for his birthday. But yeah, check it out. Pretty cool. Let's see. We got a lot of write-ins this week for Ecco, so let's get right into it with the 9-bit banter box. First comes from Brother Retro, who says, "Okay, bud, our teams are out of the playoffs." Talking NFL, so yes, they are. Who we got going and winning the Super Bowl this year? All right. We have the benefit of having seen all of the wild card and divisional round games that have been played, so all that's left are the championship games for the AFC and the NFC this weekend. I'd say for the NFC, the Seahawks really look like the team to beat. Much as I hate to say it, I really don't like the Seahawks. I would like to see the Rams beat the Seahawks, though. That would be cool. Thank you, Rams, by the way, for putting the Bears in their place last week. AFC, Broncos look good, but unfortunately they lost their QB, Bo Nix, to injury, so I'm not sure how they'll do. I don't know who they have playing backup, but they do have a home game, I believe, which is nice, and Mile High is a tough place to win. The Patriots are the other team, so unfortunately, I think the Patriots might pull this one out. Ideally, I'd love to see Rams and the Broncos in the Super Bowl with the Broncos winning, but what will probably happen is that we'll get Pats and the Seahawks, and the Pats will probably win again. What a fucking load of shit. You get this generational fucking quarterback, Patriots, and then a couple bad years and you're right back up to the top again. Whatever. Alright, Random Yoshi 94 says, do you like hot cross buns, Sam? The song? No. But what are hot cross buns? If it's like a donut, then yes. Old Man Gamer says, Sam, boxers or briefs, that is all. Boxer briefs, best of both worlds. Chris Copleen from the Retro Hangover podcast says, hi, Sam, fuck the Packers. Nope. Bears still suck. See you next year. Logan from the Unbuckled Comics and the new Youthful Faith podcast, check those out, says, Sam, recently I was in an airport and sitting across from me facing my direction was a girl playing her Switch. A few rows behind her was a child playing his. I, staring with creepy unblinking eyes, watched their finger movements and tried to determine what game they were playing. The child seemed to have very minimal thumb use and there's no expression of urgency on his face, so I'll say Minecraft. The girl about college age seemed to have high focus, and every handful of seconds would change her right hand grip to absolutely mash her R bumper and R trigger while not touching either of the L bumper or L trigger. Okay. My gut says that Fortnite, but I refuse to say that, so I'll go with Splatoon 3. This game kept me sane while trying to get home with 2 very ill children and a sick pregnant wife. What game do you think you could identify without button patterns? Oh, I see. The game of you trying to figure out a game that they were playing kept you sane. That'll help. I think I could identify Mario Kart for sure, especially if they're also leaning with the turns, for sure. And this might be recency bias, but I think I could pick out a Cuphead player. If someone's sitting there playing Cuphead, you probably got your trigger finger down, and then you're like frantically, using your left stick and mashing whatever button you have for jump, because it's pretty frantic while you're. But the trigger down, like basically just holding your shoot button is the tell. Good question. I can't think of any others off the top of my head. Come let us know in the Discord if you could think of any other games that you could identify just by watching the person's controller hands. All right, Hooley's Handy Hack says, "Hello there, Sir Sam Sexington." What a fucking name. Once you gentlemen eventually take over the world, where would you build the future city of Retrotopia? Also, I would like to run for sheriff. Okay, if we go underwater with it, we could do like a rapture thing without the creepy plastic surgery disasters. Or we could go skyward like Columbia without the white supremacy. If we're sticking with the Bioshock theme. I always picture like that's what Retrotopia is like, but not awful. Like not like something has gone wrong under the surface. And yes, you can absolutely be the sheriff, but you have to be like super chill about it, okay? All right. Fill up my mouth with farts says, "Hi Sam, what are your opinions on PC gaming? Are you a PC master race guy or just use a computer for productive tasks? I can't really go for PC gaming due to the changing requirements. Just give me a console where I can hook it up to the TV, always meet the gaming requirements of my titles. What do you think?" To be honest, I like both. A lot of my early gaming memories are PC, since my dad was into it in the 90s, and a lot of my favorite games of all time are PC games. I think there used to be a lot more piecemeal upgrading, like when you'd have like early internet days and you'd get obviously your game on a CD or a little bit later on like a DVD-ROM, and you'd have to make sure that you had like all the hardware requirements, and we'd sometimes have to like crack open the tower and replace the sound card or the graphics card or something like that, while keeping, you wouldn't want to buy an entirely new PC, but you'd want to get the latest processing chip or something like that. So you'd either do it yourself, or you'd have to like take it to like, in my area there was still is a place called Milwaukee PC. Like you just like take your PC in there, and those nerds would take care of it for you. I find now that if you even have like a decent PC or laptop, and you can get them for, I would say probably relatively reasonable price, you can play pretty much anything right off of Steam or GOG if you're GOG or Good Old Games or whatever. That stuff is more accessible than it ever has been. So I think like PC has that stink of having to do all the extra work rather than just like throwing the console on and jamming in the cartridge and stuff. But it's gotten a lot easier, and now you got like the bridge of like the Steam Deck, which is kind of a little bit of both, best of both worlds. And some genres are just better on PC. Like I've played a few RTS games like StarCraft or Warcraft 2. Oh, I love that game. Those are better on PC. First-person shooters are great on PC with the WASD control and the mouse. Give me that all day. I like both though. But if I'm playing a platformer, an RPG, I probably want it handheld or on a console for sure. Great question. All right, the big deal says, all right, Sam, please complete the trifecta and rank your top 5 favorite Sams. So, yes, assuming, of course, Brian and Alan have done the same. My top Sams in no particular order, we're going to go with Samuel L. Jackson, of course. Sam Elliott is a great actor. He's the oh man, my first experience with Sam Elliott in something was when he's like the stranger from Big Lebowski, and he's just like that kind of random dude. He's mostly for the mustache, man. Those are mustache goals. I can only hope to have a mustache so lush and white when I grow a little bit older here. Then we're going with the late Sam Simon, Simpsons writer and producer. Responsible for a lot of the early episodes of The Simpsons. Samwise Gamgee, another great Sam, literary Sam. And then we're gonna go with Samuel Clemens, aka Mark Twain. That's my that rounds out my 5. So those are my 5 Sams. Thanks. That's a good question too. All right, and last comment comes from Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, who says, if you could design a torture program, which video game would you force the victims to play? Ecco the Dolphin. All right, now let's go to choose one, lose one.
Ladies and gentlemen, roll up and choose your power-up from the game of the week. You pick a power, we pick a consequence. It's choose one, lose one, the game where everyone's a loser.
All right, for choose one, lose one, we got a lot of these for Echo. Let's start with Brother Retro, who says, give me the ability to beat this freaking game. All right, it's granted, but it will give you no joy. Random Yoshi 94 says, cool music for me, please. I assume we're talking about Echo still for the cool music, in which case you can have all the cool music you want. You can even make loose references to Pink Floyd, one of the greatest bands of all time, but you're still playing Ecco the Dolphin. Right. Old Man Gamer says, I like the ability to swim as fast as a dolphin and do flips in the air. The only fun part about this game. I just thought of the on a boat. It's like, I'm riding on a dolphin doing flips and shit. That is the most fun part about this game. Okay, granted, you can do that. But much like the fabled Icarus, you flip just a bit too close to the sun and you set off a chain of events that lead you toward an absolute cosmic horror. Also, your controls suck. Alright, Chris Copleen says, I want to be an animal that has sex for fun. You are. There you go. I think the easy answer here is that you become a dolphin, but no, you are not getting out that easy, my friend. You remain a human adult with human adult responsibilities and worries. No freaky, friendly, frolicking flipper fornication for you, Chris. Alright, Rad Mac says, you would like the ability to have sex purely for pleasure like dolphins do and find out what all the fuss is about. You and Chris are in the same boat there. Although you can be a dolphin. We'll let you be a dolphin. As for what all the fuss is, that's gonorrhea and blowhole warts, so have fun with those. Hooley's Handy Hack says, I would like a blowhole. Don't ask why. Alright, I'm not going to ask you why. You can have your blowhole, but you also get some of Rad Mac's blowhole warts. I think we just found another word for my list of phrases or words that make me laugh automatically. Blowhole warts. Alright, Shane's World says, give me the ability to breathe underwater. Sure, but it only activates when you touch an ancient statue for some fucking reason, if you can manage to find one. Alright, and last but not least again here, Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious says, I would like the ability to use echolocation. I would use this ability to stay away from this crappy game as far as possible. Sure, you can echolocate, but this game will find a way to glom onto you like those stupid fucking snowshoe crabs in the ice level. All right. I think that's all of it. Thanks everyone for playing. Let's turn it over to Alan for this week's Gentleman's Interlude.
Here we observe Ecco, a bottlenose dolphin of the warm, shallow seas. He clicks and whistles, hunts fish, and leaps joyfully through sunlit waves. Behavior entirely consistent with the Tursiops truncatus. All is well. The pod swims in elegant synchrony. Nature, as ever, is balanced. And then, quite without warning, a colossal hurricane erupts from a cloudless sky and abducts the entire pod into the upper atmosphere. Ecco, it seems, has been left behind. At this point, one might reasonably expect a poignant tale of migration, loss, and survival. Instead, Ecco begins conversing with ancient sea crystals. These sentient geological formations, most notably the asterite, advise him that the ocean is afflicted by something called the vortex, an alien force from another dimension. This is unusual dolphin behavior. Guided by sonar, Ecco swims not merely across oceans, but through time itself, visiting the prehistoric seas of the Jurassic period. Here, among ammonites and plesiosaurs, our dolphin continues to breathe air, solve spatial puzzles, and battle hostile wildlife with concussive sonar blasts. Marine biologists, watching closely, would be taking notes, then tearing them up. Eventually, Ecco learns the truth. The vortex is an extraterrestrial hive species that harvests oceans by draining them of life. Their queen resides inside a biomechanical alien city. Naturally, Ecco infiltrates this structure, disables its defenses, and engages the vortex queen in direct combat. He wins. The seas are restored, the pod returns, balance, somehow, is re-established. Ecco the Dolphin was developed by Nova Trade International, later known as Appaloosa Interactive, under the direction of Ed Annunziata, whose vision blended marine biology, science fiction, and existential dread. It was released for the Sega Genesis / Mega Drive in 1992. What began as a serene simulation of dolphin life evolved into a cosmic struggle against time-traveling aliens. And as Ecco leaps once more beneath the sunlit waves, one cannot help but reflect. Nature is a wondrous thing, but this is not how dolphins behave.
All right, thanks, Alan. And now let's hear about from some of you. That was well put. Let's hear from some of you in the community. What do you have to say about Ecco the Dolphin? First, we have Fallen Snow Kiku, who says, I've never played this game and I don't really wanna. Dolphins are scary. They get into some real fucked up shiz. You're right. I think they do. I think dolphins are a little rapey. Like, I don't think they really, they may do the sex for pleasure thing, but I don't think they have the, advanced concept of consent like we humans do. There's actually, real quick tangent, there is a podcast I listen to called The Dollop. It's an American history podcast, and it's a comedy podcast, but there is an early episode of The Dollop where like some dude had some lady live with a dolphin and the dolphin got a little handsy. So yeah, dolphins are really weird that way. All right, that's enough of that. Brother Retro says, I tried. I really tried to get through this one, and I really failed. We all did. Except for Alan. Alan beat it. Yeah, to Take a bow, buddy. I mean, we let Alan take his victory lap on this one in the game chat. But man, yeah, this game fucking, ugh. Oh man, Chris Copleen says, I always wanted to like this game, but I don't. Yeah, me neither. Random Yoshi says, I like dolphins. I feel like that was like the idea behind this game was like, hey, you like dolphins? It's like, great, you're gonna hate this. Radmac says, I played this game as a kid and legit thought it was just a swim and jump around game. I returned to it as an adult and realized it's an entire game built on the be underwater on an oxygen timer and do puzzles in combat. I really hate that literally 100% of the game that mechanic is in for less total time and said, wait a second. Hold on, did I read that right? All right. Let me start over. Sorry. I returned to it as an adult and realized it's an entire game built on the quote, be underwater on an oxygen timer and do puzzles in combat, unquote, that I hate in literally 100% of the games that mechanic is in for less total time and said, yeah, fuck that. Yes, fuck that. All right, Hooley's Handy Hack says, I did not grow up with this game or any Sega games for that matter, but when the Genesis Mini came out, this was one of the first games I got hooked to. Really? Oh, man. Well, at the beginning of the game is so much fun, but that fun wears off after a couple levels. Still, for a game about a dolphin, it's pretty neat. Okay, all right. I can get on board with that. The first couple levels, I don't know. No. Pretty much as soon as you whatever, we'll get into it. I'm not gonna give my thoughts here. I'm glad you enjoyed it for a little bit at least, Hooley. But really the first, you got a Sega Mini and this is the first, man, there's so many better games on that. All right. Last comment for Echo comes from the Big Deal, who says, this is one of those games that's better left to nostalgia. I remember it being a beautiful looking game, but very cryptic and confusing. I feel like it's one of those essential Genesis games and always felt like it was wildly popular, but it's definitely at the bottom of the list of something I'm looking forward to playing, or replaying rather, anytime soon. Oh, all right. That was quite the introduction. Thank you everyone for the comments, and the choose one lose one was a lot of fun this week. It's always a lot of fun when it's a game as notorious as Echo. Let's talk about Echo. Released in 1992, developed by Novotrade International, later known as Appaloosa Interactive, published by Sega on the Sega Genesis. Let's get to it, guys. All right, here we are to talk Ecco the Dolphin for the Sega Genesis, and with me are the remnants of my pod that I never found, but somehow we're going to talk to. Brian and Alan, how you guys doing?
Somewhere in the ocean, just floating face down.
Yeah.
The level of despair in that all right as you started the show just told me everything I needed to know about what this episode's going to be like.
This game.
This is going to be a banger of an episode.
My God.
Otherwise, I'm okay, Sam. Much calmer now that I've finished with Ecco the Dolphin.
Dude, beat this game outright without save states or any rewind. Like, first of all, let's take a round of applause for Alan. Take your victory lap.
Hey, I'll have it. Do you know what? I mean, if we're just going to dive into experience with this game, I'll go on my little tirade here.
It.
I've been playing Ecco the Dolphin for the Sega Mega Drive for the better part of, I don't know, just north of 30 years. It is a game that I adored as a child, even though I couldn't. Well, you've played this game. You know that there's no way any child gets anywhere with this fucking game. But I thought it was cool. I like the colours, the sound. You know, dolphins are cool. And I lump this in with things like Comic Zone as, you know, those games that I just could not beat back in the day. And I have tried and tried and tried many times over the years. Like, I have played Ecco the Dolphin more times than I care to count. And I finally beat this game, and I beat it clean. No save states, no rewinds, no nothing. And I am now officially retired from playing Ecco the Dolphin. I've done it. I don't need that level of stress anymore. If you could see me, like, I have no brown hair left. It's all grey. All grey.
It's like that scene in It where he like sees the whatever in the sewer pipe and he just completely goes white immediately.
Give me Pennywise. Give me Pennywise. I'm like, at this point, please.
Oh God, he'd be like, "We have Echo down here." It's like, oh God. Is that it?
No.
We all float down here, but we rarely float in the right fucking direction.
Yeah, and we run out of air sometimes. Oh man, Brian, do you have any history with this game aside from?
Mostly just knowing about it. I've known about it for a long time. Like, obviously being a Nintendo kid, I didn't dive into the Sega Megasys there very often. I've seen this game in advertisements. I've seen this game on videos. You know, I hear the lore from Remember the Game podcast and, you know, how bad the game was. But I've never had a desire to play this game. And I've been proven right. It is just one of those games that it seems good in concept, but they kind of made it ridiculous. And I've been reading up on the guy who developed it, Ed Zayeta or whatever, hard to pronounce name, and he had a quote on Twitter. He says, "I was paranoid about game rentals and kids beating the game over the weekend, so I made it hard," and he fucking did.
Yeah,
no
think?
kidding.
Oh my God!
Oh, I don't want kids to beat it over the weekend, so I'm gonna make it the fucking hardest game they've ever played.
Yeah,
30 plus years, you bastard. I mean, how much would a rental run me for that?
Yeah, every week.
I'm still
week
paying for
years.
the rental to beat it. Oh man, no, but playing the game, like, it feels like it would be better suited in a 3D environment rather than the 2D environment they gave you.
That's fair.
But,
I've got good news for you on that front then, because
oh no, you don't.
Mm-mm.
Nope.
Oh,
no,
yes,
no,
oh, yes, I
no
do.
other Echo games. Yeah.
there are, yeah.
Did they make a
Echo,
3D one?
I think it's called Guardian of the Future for the Dreamcast. I've not played it, but I know it exists.
Ugh.
I think it's Guardian of the Future or something along those lines. I'm on the spot here, but
A little trivia, because I just got the wiki open for you, Alan.
Go on.
Maybe you a little bit too, Sam, but Alan's the gamer here.
Yep.
You know the music was based off of Pink Floyd?
I
Makes
know
sense.
that it was inspired by Pink Floyd, and it has now forever tied itself into the horror. And we'll get into this particular. I'll talk about it. I've got stuff to say about this reference, but it may have tainted one of my favorite albums of all time,
Yeah.
just by association. And you know what the funny thing is that I don't actually hate this game. I have always come out in defense of Ecco the Dolphin, like ever since I was a kid. But that love for what this game does has been sorely tested, and I cannot legitimately argue any negative points about this game. Like, I got nothing to counteract with. This is pure nostalgia.
Yeah.
I think I
can
might have
see
rented
how
it
they-
a
like,
couple times. Like, that was
Yeah.
pretty
Oh, yeah?
much it. And it's like you just kind of swim around. I don't even think I figure out how to get out of the first little pool where you're supposed to jump out of the water and make the warpy thing happen. Didn't figure it out.
Oh, yeah, that took me way too long, and I had to use a walkthrough. And I'm talking to all the stupid dolphins, and they're like, how high can you jump? That's your only clue.
Yeah, that's true.
And
So then I
what
guess
you
you
have
just
to
try to
do
jump
is-
high and then eventually maybe get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you have to go down and then get some speed, then go back straight up and jump straight out, and all of a sudden that whole scene where the aliens shit happens, which again is ridiculous. I'm going to die on that hill.
Home Bay, the first level in the game, is an absolutely wonderful dolphin simulator. And you
not
cannot
wrong.
deny that the at least the first impressions of this game are, well, wow, this sounds quite lovely, this looks beautiful, and it is a lot of fun to splash around as a dolphin. Like, the falsest of false senses of security in that first level. Like
This is going to be a super chill game, man. I'm ready to get high and play it.
Well, you can see how, as a young lad, I would play this and just think, wow, this is kind of nice. I'm a dolphin splashing around. This is cool.
No, I can't.
Yeah, and then what happens?
Yeah.
I mean, very quickly. I mean, the first couple levels are okay, I guess. I mean, you're in just kind of the bay area that you're, I guess, starting in. But my problem, like almost right away, is, I mean, and I guess it's built for you to try it again and again and try to figure these levels out. But some of the shit is just like. So first of all, there's like these crystals sometimes, and like sometimes they give you the power to open other ones, and some are blocking you, and then you can like sonar them out of the way. But my thing is like, could you not have made those look any different? Like, why do they all look exactly the same?
That's my biggest problem is I kept running into crystals, like, you can't pass. And it's like, what do I have to do? I found all the crystals. And it's just, you had to do some innocuous thing there that would actually trigger that event. And you could go back to the crystal. Then you could sonar it out of the way. And it's just, fuck.
Yeah.
So many times. I actually ended up at one point, because I was playing on an emulator, I turned on a clipping mode so I could go around one of the crystals because I couldn't figure out how to friggin' open it up. So I'm like, screw you.
Well,
I'm just going to go by you.
That's genius.
Yeah, and the problem is that the crystal, to open the crystal that you've probably found, like, in one part of the level, is probably like all the way across the other part of the level in some weird corner that you haven't gone to yet, or didn't think you could even reach that part because it's either blocked by something or there's some sort of current or whatever. Like, it's just every level is a maze. Everything hurts you. The dolphin kind of controls like shit, and God damn it, it's just, it sucks. It really is not. It's not fun.
Well, there was early on in the game, I was talking to you guys, and I got stuck on the only place you could go. So you end up in this like little area where you have a current you can't swim through, and these spikes that hurt you.
Yes.
And it was Alan who was like, "Yeah, you just got to nosedive the spikes," and I'm like, "That's really not something I'd think of doing because you don't want to run into spikes." Mega Man, every video game has taught me avoid spikes. This game's just like, no, use your attack on it.
Yeah, there's some that
attack the spikes.
There's some that are just like, I guess, stacks of shells that you can, like you can ram through, and then there's others that are just like attached to the walls in the ceiling that, like, there's current that will push you up into it, or there's like really narrow pixel perfect passages that you have to just kind of float through, and
sure.
The other one is the conch of power that breaks rocks, and you have to lift it with the stupid dolphin, and there's no easy way to do it. And even the walkthrough said it's like, if it's your first time playing, you're going to get angry.
Yes.
And it's just like, oh, Jesus.
Really good.
And it was. I was like trying to break, I broke one of the boulders, but it was not enough room for me to get through. So I spent about 30 minutes trying to lift that stupid cone up high enough to break another boulder. And when I finally did, I was like, thank God that's over. And there's more fucking cones in the goddamn game.
Oh yeah, then there's more.
Or boulders you have to push over.
A lot of these
things.
Of these things, it's kind of a case of, do you know what? I fucked this up. Let me go far enough away that this thing respawns and then go back and try it again. Especially with stuff, because a lot of these things kind of expect you to push these like conches and what have you exactly into the right spot first time, or else it's just not worth trying again. And the thing is, like, I hear the argument. No, well, exactly, but I hear the arguments here. But at its heart, this is a puzzle game. For whatever else you think it might be, it is.
The biggest puzzle is, why are we playing it?
Yeah.
I mean, the game has sort of infinite respawn, no game overs, and you're allowed to try these levels as many times as you like. It's got a password system, and it's just kind of designed to, I think, figure out over a longer time than maybe a podcast allows for. And, I'm not saying it's not frustrating, because fuck me. But, yeah, it's very trial and error with emphasis on the error.
Alan, did you have to use a guide on this, or do you just kind of go in and based on memory?
Did you raw dog this, you dirty bastard?
I mean, a lot of stuff I remembered from previous playthroughs. There were some that was just like, you know what? Let me just look at them, because there are some levels that are particularly convoluted, and there are some
Right.
good maps out there that will show you like, go here, go here, go here, go here, go here. You know, and I have used those in the past, and it definitely cuts out a lot of the faff. Because, like you say, you know, there are. I want to say red herrings, but you know, every glyph that you interact with will either give you the means to pass through. Basically, you've got key glyphs and you've got lock glyphs, I guess we'll call them, and you've also got glyphs that will just be there for exposition. And you're right, Sam. There is no way of telling them apart.
Yeah.
You just have to, interact with them and see what they do, which is. I'm sort of straining to say that that's kind of a bit of a lure to the game, because you don't know what everything's going to do, but at the same time it can also be infinitely fucking frustrating. And you know what? There are two dolphins on my shoulder right now, and one wants me to shit on this game and one wants me to defend it, and I just don't know which side I'm going to fall on.
No, like going back to those crystals, it would be nice if there was some indication whether, like, let's just say you've interacted with it and it gets like a red sheen to it or something.
Yeah.
Something to
sure.
say that, you know, you've done something, and then that way if you're floating around and trying to find another one, which some of them are hidden behind the scenery, which is stupid, you can at least know where you've been, and you can kind of map yourself, you know, to what you need to do. Because there is a map mode in this, and I think you have to use the echolocation to map an area, if I was reading right.
Yeah,
I never really looked at the map.
Oh, if you hold that sonar down, he beams the sonar out, and then it comes back to you, and it shows you kind of your path forward, which is nice. Like, I would use that a lot more.
It's a cool feature.
Yeah.
If
I weren't using
it's
a
probably
guide.
like the best feature of the game, right next to the power button.
And that's the power button and the throw the cartridge out the window button.
Yeah, that one.
I like that kind of thing, because we haven't. I mean, this seems like a good a time as any to like tell people what Echo actually does. And what I really appreciate about this is that all of his moves and all of his abilities are exactly what you would expect from a dolphin. You know, he has the sonar for echolocation, and in later instances to actually attack with. You know, he has that dash to attack enemies. Like, you can swim slower or faster. And it's just like, these are all things that a dolphin would and could do. And yeah, I just think that's kind of neat.
Hey, let's put an asterisk on Echo's offensive sonar capabilities, because you only get that upgrade if you do a very convoluted side quest where you rescue 3 dolphins that are very difficult.
Well, and you do get it at the end of the game as just your
spammable, if you want an easier time,
sonar.
Yeah, easier time getting through some of these, you're gonna want it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Those 3 dolphins, are they the ones you find in like level 2 there?
Yeah, there's like 2 levels.
And that's something I didn't know for the longest time.
There's a level 2.
That was a thing.
A lot of people didn't, because they turned it off by the end of level 1.
Like, joking aside, no, you're right. That's not actually inaccurate. But actually figuring out that those, because there are, like you say, it's literally only in like levels 2 and 3 you get these 3 dolphins that have been separated from their pod, and you have to attempt to lead them back to their family, which sounds easy on paper. And having done that, you will get an upgrade for basically your sonar. And it's just like, I was not aware of that until I was already well into adulthood, that's what that did. And just by dashing and hitting the sonar, I could actually destroy enemies with the sonar. And it's just like, oh my god,
yeah,
how have I been playing this game?
That would have been very helpful. I did not get the upgrade.
Yeah, if you can manage to get it, it is very, very helpful.
Oh, yes.
God, some of the enemies in this game, like, I'm going to switch gears here a little bit, because just frustrating, because you could do the nose attack, like the forward nose attack, which is what you use to kill them, but if you time it too early, Echo loses momentum, and then that enemy has just like a free shot on you, and there goes one of your health, and then you got to go find those floating fish, and you got to nosedive them to eat them so you can get your health back. God, it was frustrating a lot of times, because your dive is in a straight line, so it's not like you can aim Echo. You have to be swimming in that direction, and then he shoots in a straight line, either up, down, left, or right. I don't believe he goes in angles, if I remember.
You can.
Oh
But
no,
it's,
you can go at angles. It's
Okay, so it was, yeah, okay, yeah. But
it's
but
also
you're
where it
right.
stands, you
You
get
are
8
right
directions.
about that dash. Like it is very kind of
Useless?
not short range. Well, I wouldn't say it's useless. I mean, you need it for the final boss, but it
Fair
is
point.
very kind of short. And the thing I find about the dash is just that it's kind of temperamental about what it's locking onto, because it does
Yes.
have a kind of weak lock on. So it will go to either the nearest enemy, and assuming you've got the range, you might hit him, you might not. Or he might just decide to investigate a random piece of coral that's just
Right.
hanging around
Yeah.
nearby, and there's no in between.
I found it really
Or,
hard to get myself even like pointed in the correct direction that I wanted
yeah,
to go in.
like that's why I said this game feels like it was more idealized to be in a 3D environment rather than the 2D environment, because Echo, he moves well enough, but at the same time, it is hard. If he gets momentum in a certain way, you have to kind of circle with the momentum to get back, and sometimes it gets confusing with the D-pad, and it takes you a second to figure it out, and then next thing you know, you got an enemy right up your blowhole.
Yeah. And you know what? Like Echo moves absolutely fantastically for a dolphin. And that's, I think, where they kind of went a little bit too far into the realism, because there were so many times. Well, they have this whole
Oh no, this
animation
whole
just for
game's about
turning.
realism.
Yeah, well, obviously. But they have this whole animation of Echo turning round, which is maybe only a second long, but it's enough. If you've got one of those crabs up your ass,
Fuck
any
yes.
number of the crustaceans,
Yeah.
I don't care if it's the crab, the giant crab, the fucking trilobites or whatever they're called. You know, they all amount to the same thing. They will just hound you across the entire map, and by the time you've turned round, they've already taken a chunk out of you. And that's where I think this
Exactly.
game struggles, is that they made the animation almost too realistic, and it slows you down quite a bit.
I'm literally looking at the sprite sheet, and Echo's kind of movement is about 4 rows of about 20 to 30 sprites. So
Well, there you
yeah,
go.
it
You see,
is a little
you see,
excessive.
that's exactly what I'm talking about. And I think that's
Wow.
why, especially in some of these more narrow caves and tunnels and whatnot, it can be really difficult to navigate, especially if you're sort of trapped by the top or trapped by the bottom or trying to turn round. And it's
Oh, especially if you're in one of those narrow parts there, and yeah, you have to kind of do a flippity floop to get back in the other direction there. It can you hit the ceiling and an enemy, and then you get hurt, and then you run out of air, and then you're finally in the right direction.
It's just
a
so much
flippity
too
floop.
like just like gotcha booby trap bullshit that like yeah, you've got this narrow passage, but there's like these crabs that are the same color as the rocks, but they're
Oh
on the
yeah.
rocks and they just jump out at an angle that you're not gonna. I mean, the angles that the enemies move at are not the angles that work the best for moving
Or the
Echo
ones
around.
that can
So
clip through the environment.
yes,
Oh yeah, they don't care about the environment. They will go around the environment. And there is one particular, I can't remember what level it's on, but there is one particular tunnel where it is just you racing against a current, and it is full of those orange crabs that will just fly at you and hound you. And
fuck yeah,
you're trying to race against the current, the crabs are flying at you, and if you get hit and go back, they'll respawn instantly. Like, the respawn on this game is fucking crazy.
yeah.
Like, literally, you go 1 pixel off screen and
Yep.
everything you've just killed comes back. Now, I'm aware that there is a way to kill enemies permanently, and that is another sonar upgrade. But I got what I needed out of those 3 dolphins. I was not doing that again for another upgrade. Like, fuck off.
Yeah,
Your family can go fuck themselves.
no kidding.
Exactly.
Yeah. As much as I hated the smaller, like kind of reddish brown crabs, the worst ones were in the ice level. The ones that are like the big snowshoe crabs, because like it's one thing for an enemy to just kind of like strafe you all the time, like just kind of like go past you at different angles. But like the fucking crabs in that ice level were just like designed to just hover over your sprite. So like no matter what
they
you
just
did,
latch on.
yes, yeah. Fuck that. Like the worst,
Yeah.
the absolute worst.
And I mean, let's take the library for example.
Ugh.
You know, which
The
the
famous
library, the famous library, which, as far as I'm concerned, is a good a point as any for anyone to like tap out of this
That's my
game
tap
because. Did you get to that puzzle where you have to move that block up and over the wall?
I just
several
watched
times?
it earlier today, and I'm really glad I didn't even try it because holy fucking shit.
This is some bullshit because the enemies are respawning. You're having to nose this block up and over the wall 3 times and get it to the chains that it needs to break.
Yes.
All the while, these crabs are respawning every time you go like a pixel or 2 up the screen too far. And you have to, because you have to move this block up the screen, and it's just like, what? I'm aware that there's an invincibility nearby that I can use as many times as I like, and thank fuck for that, because otherwise this part of the level is impassable. And I think a lot of design choices in this game were sort of through quote-unquote whatever level of playtesting this fucking thing got, and they were just like, you know what, this is actually impossible. Like, let's throw them at least half a fucking bone here.
Not like let's change this and make it good. It's just like, no, let's leave it shitty. We'll just put like a weird invincibility statue somewhere.
Yeah. Let's give him 7 seconds of invincibility and see if that makes it any easier for them. So guess what? When you're having to solve these slow fucking puzzles, it does not.
No, the Let's Play that I watched, like this, whoever it was honestly doing a masterful job of getting this stupid block up and over these ridges or whatever the fuck. But like would pause every couple seconds and like do a quick like sonar lunge around and kill the crab and the little jellyfish that are coming up from the bottom. It's just like, dude, like, and then pixel perfect able to just like scoop that thing up. Cause I know that if I were doing that, I would be riding the struggle bus, trying to even
off the bottom.
Oh yeah, like it would be falling down, and then I would get hit a bunch. And
I tell you what, there is a reason that was not me doing that fucking Let's Play, because
I don't understand how you get that good at this game. Like that's got to be like the only like you don't like to play video games. You just play Echo. Like that's it.
No, well, that's how speedruns are done. It's somebody just playing the game over and over and over again until they have it absolutely perfected.
Right. Yeah.
So,
that's
true.
And some people are like superhuman and just so good at video games that they can do this. It's just not normal.
Ugh.
No, and I mean, bear in mind, like I say, I mean, this game is, 1992, I think? And it's just like, if somebody better than us at this fucking game for a start is playing that fairly regularly for 30-something years, like, you would expect them to know this game like the back of their hand. And I think that's what this game kind of expects out of you. You know, just take it a level at a time, learn this map inside and out, finally beat it, get to the next one, maybe put it down, take the password, put it down for a bit, and then come back and clock in for your next shift at Ecco the Dolphin land.
Yeah, I guess there is probably a small percentage of the population that likes this game enough that they just get that itch to go back and play it again and again, and over time you're probably pretty good at it. I mean,
I was one such individual, but I'm in recovery now.
No, but I mean, like, the way that this person was just like, oh, they know exactly where to turn, so they're able to just go, boop, 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 right through, like, all these turns, and then it's like, there's a long corridor, and they know, like, very slight adjustments to the controls, just, like, back and forth to avoid spikes or whatever the hell. It's just like, oh my god. No way would this would have taken me... We would have been like, all right, let's cover this in November.
November? Right. What year?
Yeah.
Maybe I don't know.
Let's just say the third number starts with a 4.
Somewhere far into the future. Let's travel into the future. Let's time travel. Fuck it. Oh, let's time travel until we're good at this game.
Yeah, speaking of which, what the fuck? Oh, man.
Oh, God. That was not a twist I was very expecting.
Yeah, it's like... I mean, you're okay. So the first part of this game, obviously, like every level's a maze basically, and it's like, okay, well, you got separated from your pod. Okay, so you're looking for a pod, and you're bopping along and helping other
Normal
people
dolphin
find,
stuff.
yeah, doing dolphin stuff, talking to other sea creatures and getting hurt by others and whatever. And then all of a sudden, it's just like you're being called into the past from the future, and there's an alien race that's destroyed civilization, and you're needing to zap back into the past to I have Alan, help me
Not
out.
to mention
I
you
got
find
you.
this lost city of Atlantis, who set up this entire friggin' network of those crystals that we were talking about,
Right.
in order to talk to a dolphin to fight aliens.
And here, we were talking about this a little before we started recording. I was like, they're really, really hoping that there's going to be some intelligent dolphin that's going to come back and fulfill this prophecy. Otherwise, like, what if they send back just some regular ass dolphin that's just like, meh.
Yeah.
Like, what am I doing here?
Yeah. One of those lost kids.
Well,
Yes.
that was our 14th. That was our 14th dolphin, guys. I don't think this plan's going to work.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the lost city of Atlantis we're talking about here. So I have to imagine at some point it was above the waves, and they were expecting some reasonably intelligent human being to come along and try and figure it out. But then maybe not. Maybe not. I mean, because like I couldn't figure this shit out for the longest time. So maybe it does take a dolphin. Who knows? But yeah, I mean, as you say, you start off at the start of the game, and your entire pod and most everything in home bay is sucked into the sky by the vortex, who use the vortex in order to take it back to vortex and feed the vortex queen. A lot of vortex in this. And then so Echo is like, well, what the fuck? What's happened to my pod? What's happened to my family? So he goes on this great big long journey to find, first of all, Big Blue, which is perhaps the oldest living creature in the sea, who knows stuff. He's like, well, I don't know what's happened to your pod, but I bet I know who does. Go and find the asterite, which, again, is not really explained. It's just this kind of big double helix looking fucking thing that lives in the deep sea. And it's just like, oh, okay, well, I could help you with this, but unfortunately I'm not complete. So I'm going to need you to go into the past, the means to do which you can find in the lost city of Atlantis. So use the time machine that they had there because, okay, fine, the Atlanteans had a time machine. Why not? And I want you to go into the past and find me, steal one of my balls, bring it back to the future so that you can give it to me so that I can then be complete. That's starting a whole fucking bootstrap paradox about, well, who started this chain in the first place? Because why was your ball missing? Why not just keep the ball and be, okay, fine, whatever. And so the asteroid is like, right, now I'm going to give you all these spooky powers. Go back to Atlantis, and now you can travel back in time to the exact moment that everything was taken from home bay. Make sure you're sucked off with the vortex, and yes, I picked my words very carefully. And you're going to end up on the spaceship, on vortex, with all of these spooky new powers I've given you, and welcome to the machine.
Wait a second. So, am I correct in this? Is that what was this? Anthracite?
Please don't ask any questions. No, go on. The asteroid. Yeah.
Asteroid. Yeah. So he's missing some of his balls, right? So then you go back.
He's missing some of his balls.
He's probably missing both his balls.
If I saw this,
well, he has a lot of balls.
If I saw this correctly, the dolphin goes back in time to retrieve this thing's balls by taking its balls from the past where it was complete.
Well, this is exactly what I'm saying. So why in the first place?
Yeah. Why does he not have
the only
them?
reason? The only reason he doesn't have them in the future is because Echo took them in the past.
Yeah, which he sent them.
And
Jesus Christ!
And let me just point out that fucking asteroid fight is a crock of shit, and I'll tell you why. You've got this thing swirling around, multicolored different balls swirling around, and the way to defeat this boss is to do your nose attack on 4 of these balls of the exact same color. So we've already mentioned that the lock-on for this game is just kind of pissed. It's all over the place. So there is no guarantee unless you have that color ball directly in front of you that you're going to hit 4 of the same color balls and win this fight. And it's a simple concept, but you're lining up this thing, and if you're staying still for a fraction of a second too long, the asteroid just fries you with electricity and takes all of your health. So you have to be constantly moving while trying to predict where these balls are going to be to line up and hit them. And it's just like just leave it alone. If you don't go back in time and you don't take his balls, then he's going to have them. So
yeah, like at that point, if Echo refused to do that, would those balls just reappear?
So you guys are thinking as if this game had logic behind its time travel.
I'm trying to
Right.
apply
There's
some.
literally absolutely no time travel paradox logic into this. There's not the Back to the Future where, shit that happens in the past affects the future, but not the person who travels to the past. There's none of that time machine crap. It's just illogical time travel.
But Brian, they decided to put this fucking plot in a dolphin simulator,
I know, that's why it's
I have to
illogical.
know why. I have to know why. And
You're-
who started the whole thing? Who was the first thing to go back and steal this thing's balls?
It's an endless cycle. It's the grandfather paradox. That's
you-
the one it is.
Did you know that?
Who was Mozart?
I was gonna say, did you know that Fry is his own grandfather?
Yeah, the
Oh, yeah,
the
that's a great
grandfather
episode.
paradox.
I
a
do
great
love that
episode.
episode.
That's what this is. It's if the dolphin never went back in time to grab the ball, would the ball ever gone back in time?
Yeah. So that's a whole thing. I do find it cool that you go back to the start of the game. Like, I like that whole... I've always liked that, ever since Back to the Future, where... one of my favourite things about Back to the Future is particularly
It's
in
not
Back to the
Echo
Future...
Dolphin?
No, there are no dolphins. There is a shark, but I don't think there's any dolphins in Back to the Future. And the shark still looks fake. But it's that whole thing where Marty McFly is creeping around behind the scenes of the first film. I love that. So, that did sort of... You go back to the very beginning of the game and change something, and it's just like, okay, that's cool. You got me on board now. Even if it makes no fucking sense as to why we're here, I'm on board. And, yeah. Just everything that happens after that point is an absolute Geiger-style fucking nightmare.
Yes.
I've got
Go
shit
on.
to... Okay. A couple of members of our Discord, I want to shout out I don't know who the first one was. Was it Big Deal? I know Kiku mentioned about the amount of time that you can see on NSO.
Yes.
Like-
Hooli shared it with me first.
Hooli.
And then Kiku did too.
That's it,
but
Hooli.
Yeah, that's very helpful. Thanks, guys. Like, honestly.
It is.
I'd like to see myself.
I checked today, and this game took me 10 hours to complete. I am willing to bet any money that about 3 or 4 of those hours are on Welcome to the fucking Machine. So you get into the alien spaceship, and for a start, you've got the tube, which is, as it sounds, just this perfectly straight auto-scrolling level where you're just going up and trying to dodge spikes on the walls and enemies and flying blocks and all sorts, and it gets really quite fast. But there is a way to cheese it. If you just stay in the middle about halfway up, you're just going to blast your sonar, which you've got the death sonar now, so that's nice. And you're going to get through the tube. What follows is Welcome to the Machine. Again, track off perhaps my favourite Pink Floyd album. Wish You Were Here. Brilliant album. But yeah, so this is an auto-scrolling maze level where every few seconds the direction of the auto-scroll changes. And it goes on for about 6 or 7 minutes, and that's unchangeable, unshakable, because that's how long the level takes. So you have to remember about 6 minutes of convoluted turns, tiny little gaps like red herrings, blind turns. The vortex are flying around everywhere, and you can take them out. Every time you hit a vortex creature, it splits in 2, and you have to fight the head as well.
Ugh.
So they're swarming at you. There's shit firing out of the walls, and no kidding, this level, like I've spent hours on it in previous playthroughs and never beaten it. I sent you guys the map that I had. So I got a screenshot of the entire level and was tracing on Microsoft fucking Paint the path through this level. And I'm not kidding when I say, like, I must have died 100 times. Like,
Yeah.
no exaggeration.
So
But it only took you
And-
6 to 7 minutes to beat.
aside from, obviously the enemies can kill you, but I think like the auto scrolling, if you're caught between like the auto scroll edge of the screen and a wall, like you're gonna get squished, right?
Instant death.
Okay,
Yeah, and if you've picked the wrong path, and it's not always obvious which way you need to go. So you might think, well, that looks clear, and then suddenly the screen changes direction. It was just like, no, you needed to be down here, which is a tiny little gap on the screen there. And it's just, well, you needed to be here, even though it looks like it's going to crush you, the screen's going to move back and you're going to be all right. And then you can go that way. And it's just like, oh, for fuck's sake, the trial and error is unreal. And it gets worse. Because after that, you go straight into the final fight. Instantly into the final fight, which is bullshit for a start, because if you're not instantly firing that beam, you're going to hit a couple of vortex and lose all of your health anyway, before you've even got to the Queen. And then the Queen, this giant floating head that is occupying most of the screen, who at regular intervals just decides to suck everything on the screen in, and if you get caught in that, it's an instant kill. And do you want to guess where you go if you die at that point?
You go back to Welcome to the Machine, unless you're playing the Japanese version.
Wait,
The
seriously?
Japanese version, so you start on the US and PAL versions, you go right back to Welcome to the Machine and have to do that whole auto-scroll maze again just to get another crack at the Queen. And at this point, listen, to be fair, Welcome to the Machine, you do have your sonar, you do have health that regenerates. I mean, you can still die very easily, but if you take a couple of hits, your health will regenerate. They get rid of that for the Queen. So you have to hit her in the eye. Every time you hit the eye, it spurts out blood. The blood can hurt you. You
Oh,
can get
that I
sucked into
saw
her
too.
mouth, instant death. There are other vortex and things flying out from the wall. It is nigh on impossible without a Herculean level of fucking patience and having to go back. The Japanese version, the people who are notorious for thinking that we are shit at video games, had not only a checkpoint in Welcome to the Machine, but no, you know what? It might have just been a checkpoint in Welcome to the Machine. I don't know if there's a checkpoint on the final battle. But do you know what the biggest insult of all is?
No, in the final battle, when you get sucked into her stomach, you get a different level.
That's right. That's what it was. Yeah, you get to go through the stomach to get back to the fight, which is infinitely shorter and easier than Welcome to the Machine.
Oh, so it's like Half-Life. That stupid baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. But the problem with this is once you've gone through this all 17 fucking levels of hell that this last couple of levels represents, and beaten the Queen, and you've got your ending, it gives you the password for the final fight. The password that I could have used at the start of the fucking fight. So if I died, listen, I don't think it's illegal if the game gives you a password at the start of the fight and you die and go back to Welcome to the Machine. You can just tap out and put the password in and go back. That's legal, as far as I'm concerned. The fact that it didn't have that until after the fight meant I had to keep repeating that fucking level over and over again. And somebody take over because I need a minute.
Yep. Oh man,
Alan is broken.
And if I saw it correctly, like I was watching through Welcome to the Machine, and it's like, man, like it kind of scrolls, and I don't know if the way that the screen was moving was equal parts like auto scrolling and equal parts like the actual dolphin kind of moving around. So like going like side to side as the dolphin, but like the auto scroll kind of guides you through. It's just that if you take kind of a wrong path, you can get stuck pretty easily. But it kind of almost seemed like it faked you out a couple times. Like it kind of would start to scroll in a direction, so it's like, oh, I got to go this way, and then it'd be like, nope, just kidding, you're fucked. And just like
100%.
double
I'm
back.
going to be even more artificially hard.
Yeah,
100%. Oh my god.
Yeah, that's bullshit.
Yes, that can confirm.
ugh, nope. Yeah, this is just further from, like, I got as far using save states, like liberal use of save states and a little bit of rewind for some of the, like, just what I considered bullshit, and also in the interest of time. I got to the library. I was absolutely livid every time I played it, and I was just like, I'm good. Like I'm a little past halfway. I haven't gone back in time to fucking dinosaur times or the goddamn Atlantis or any of this bullshit.
Still some balls.
Oh man, I'm kind of glad that I stopped where I did, because I would have really had a rough time with the library, and but by the looks of it, all the rest, because once you go back in time, the game kind of seems like it changes some of the rules on you a little bit, where like the little crystals that you're supposed to interact with are kind of like half hidden behind walls, and you have to go
that's
down.
what I was talking about.
Yeah. I remember that. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, they're like half hidden behind walls. That's where I started to see that, and like tunnels that are below like volcanic vents that like that doesn't appear anywhere else in the game. So like there's no indication to me that I could like go down that vent.
Oh,
But,
God, yeah.
Yeah, this playthrough I was watching, obviously this guy knew what he was doing, guy or girl, who knows, but this person knew what they were doing. So the dolphin just like, he just books it right down this vent, and I'm like, first of all, I wouldn't even think to go near that thing, because everything fucking hurts me in this game.
Well, there are other vents that hurt you.
Oh, Jesus Christ, of course. Yeah. So one would hurt you and
So
one doesn't.
why would you?
Right.
Yeah, it's not even like trial and error. It's just you're taught to avoid these vents, and then all of a sudden you have to go down these vents with no indication. And this is a big failing of this game. Is
Yes.
It really doesn't indicate progress as you go through. It doesn't give you hints or indication that you've done something correct in order to move forward, or like, if that vent had something that was pushing you out, and then when you hit the right crystal, it stopped. That would be an indication that you should go down it.
Ugh.
It's just... It's where it fails the most for me.
I mean, a lot of things are justifiable under the umbrella of being a puzzle game, and a lot of the stuff is just like, okay, well, it wasn't clear, but I could have figured that out if I'd have just explored a bit. And then there's other stuff that is just, like Sam said, just that gotcha stuff, which is just like, well, there is no way on God's green I would have figured that out.
How would I know that?
I mean,
or
why
even...
would I... and it is that changing the rules thing. It is that sort of what you've experienced in the game up until this point. Everything it's all told you that is not the right way to do that thing, and all of a sudden it's just like, well, this time it is. This time it's cool. So just go ahead.
Yeah, and it's not. Yeah, it's not even like, why would I know that? It's like, why would I even think to attempt that? Because this whole time you've been telling me that that's wrong. So like,
yeah.
That's not a fun...
And it goes for some of those glyphs as well. It's like
Yeah.
a lot of the glyphs, a lot of the later levels, especially in the prehistoric times, there is fuck all for air. And it's just like, well, what the fuck? What am I supposed to do? And you're nosing these glyphs and getting that animation that tells you, okay, well, now I've got a key, so I can go to another glyph. But what it doesn't show you is there are two different functions of the same glyph. Like, you can use your sonar on the same one, and it will give you invincibility. And that invincibility, when it fades off, does completely restock your health and air.
Yeah, that's helpful.
But unless you sonared it, you would never know that was the case. You just think it's a key glyph.
Yes.
Yep.
That's good game design. It's just taking a set of rules and flipping them on their head every now and then.
Well, it's like the guy said, he's purposely trying to make it hard because fuck the rental market. It's Lion King all over again.
Well, no, it's almost worse than Lion King's. It's just like, oh man, Lion King. It's like you almost had a good game there, and then you just made it fucky and shitty. Like it's kind of exact. It's like what we said before, where it's like you took something that was really hard, like too hard, to the point where it's unplayable, and instead of like fixing that and making it playable, you just decided to throw like a little invincibility bullshit in there for a few seconds. Yeah, like,
I mean,
that doesn't make it fun.
I do think the game is playable. I'm not
I'm
I
saying
just don't think
not.
it's
I'm
good
just-
for.
You're
I
right.
just don't think it's good for anyone's mental health to do it.
No.
Like, honestly, when I was done and I beat this game, like, I put it down, and yeah, there was a sense of relief, but there was also a sense of like, why the fuck did I do that? Like, the amount of like, it was driving. I'm not kidding. It was driving me fucking crazy. The endless repetition of these last couple of levels, and it was just like, I sat there at the end of the game and was just like, was that worth it? I mean, I know I had, because the thing is, had I not played this game from a child, I would have been happy to like save state, rewind, and all the rest of it. But me being me, the fucking idiot that I am, I was just like, well, no, I want to do this clean so that I can finally put this to bed and say I beat Echo the Dolphin. And I'm just like, when I did, I was just like, I hope nobody else has to do this. You know, my advice would be like, if you want to play Echo the Dolphin, then fine, do it, but take advantage of all of the mod cons that you get on the Switch. Like,
Absolutely.
please, I implore you.
Yep.
Yes, sir. That's the best way to play this game if you have to.
Yeah,
I'd say
graphics are stunning though.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, like, the best part of this game is the graphics, and even so, like, I noticed in some of those levels, like the library, the like all the Atlantis parts, there's like the deep city and all that stuff, like the underwater city, really, and I mean it's made by Sega, so obviously it really gave me like Sonic 1, like Marble Zone, Labyrinth Zone vibes. Like it really
Did
felt
that
like
make it better or worse for you? Because you hate Labyrinth Zone.
No, I hate Labyrinth Zone. I think that level in Sonic 1 really fucking sucks. But and I mean Marble Zone would too if I hadn't played it so much as a kid and kind of understand what to do. But no, I don't know. It gave me like nostalgic feelings to see it, but also knowing like this is just not a fun game. It's just that it just looks very Sega. Like from the crystal,
it does.
I think is used somewhere in other games. Like you can see that in other games. Like there is a core group of games from like like Golden Axe, Altered Beast, Echo, Sonic, early Sonic games. You get that vibe from it. It just very very much looks like a Sega game, and I'm probably not describing it well enough.
No.
But you've said Sega enough times.
Yes.
I get exactly what you're saying, though. There is definitely... And listen, I know that there's not much... I mean, the difference between the Master System and the NES was night and day as far as colour palettes and everything go. I mean, it's less so on the Mega Drive and the Super Nintendo, but I still, to this day, always think that Mega Drive games have the... maybe not better graphics, but the better colour palette. They just seem to pop more. Mm-hmm. And this game... like. For all of its flaws, somebody put a lot of work and a lot of effort into the design, the look, the feel, the atmosphere of this game. Like the sprite work is gorgeous. Like you're in no doubt whatsoever what everything is. You know, the animals all look incredibly detailed, and I love the subtle shading that happens on this kind of pixel art. Like, you know, Echo looks like almost a 3D dolphin. You know,
right.
And I think, I mean, a game like this, like, what's the most that you can do if you don't have some wacky fucking story on the go? Because otherwise you're just going to have the same, like, 20 levels of the same sea background. So maybe that is why you've got Atlantis and the prehistoric times. Maybe they just needed a story to tie in all of the different kind of concept art that they wanted to throw into this game. It's just like, because you've got the library, you've got Atlantis, you've got an alien spaceship. I just think they wanted to play with as much different art as they could, and it really looks great. You cannot deny that.
Yeah, I don't mind any
their color. Well, they limited their color palette to blue. Everything has to be focused around blue, obviously, because it's a water-based game. And I think the reason you might think that the Sega color palette pops more than the Super Nintendo's, mostly because they're limiting their color palette to like not a lot of colors in this. It's blue with greens, it's blue with reds, it's blue with grays. It's
more than this game. I feel like about a lot of games.
This is not the part where I'm going to shit on the game. This is actually the part where I'm going to praise it, because simplicity is always better. Some games overdo their color palettes, and it kind of makes the characters blend into the background. This game has backgrounds that are very obviously backgrounds. They're colored blue, and everything in the foreground is colored, the color. It distinguishes the two from each other, and it's really well done. You said Echo looked great. That's probably the best part about the game, is Echo really does look good. And considering how many sprites they use for Echo, kind of amazing that somebody was actually able to spend that much time making a dolphin in different positions using sprite artwork, especially 16-bit sprite artwork.
Yeah, like
Yes,
it fully
100%
turns
I
and
agree.
rotates in space.
Yeah, which, as we discussed earlier, is maybe not a great thing from a control point of view, but it does look pretty spectacular.
Yeah,
for the
the
time.
animation is like buttery smooth. It's because you know, Mario turns in like 2-3 pixels, or like 2-3 pixel characters, where Echo here has like 7 to do a loop. So
Yeah.
it's going to look a lot better.
You know what?
It's just not that much use when you've got a crab directly up your
Yeah.
asshole.
Yeah, yeah. The crab has like 40 different animations for it to kill you.
Yeah.
You know what? You know what kind of vibe I would get from this, with all the different kind of ocean creatures and stuff that we went into such painstaking detail to render, was like, you know how like if you've ever watched like behind the scenes of Disney stuff, like even back in the day on like the VHS tapes of The Lion King, they'd be like, well, the animators brought like a real live lion in and drew it, and that's how they like came up with Simba and stuff like that. It's like, that's kind of the vibe I get. Like, they were, I mean, not to say they were you know, having a dolphin wheeled in a thing or whatever. That's where the pod went, actually.
Paint me like one of your French
Right.
dolphins.
But no, but you know what I mean? Like, looking through, you know, marine biology books, or like going to the aquarium, like you could tell that like people were, whoever did the art design on this game was doing their homework as far as sea creatures.
They knew what a dolphin looked like much more than the designers of Sonic the Hedgehog knew what a hedgehog looked like.
Right.
Don't quote me on this, but when I was reading through like wikis and stuff like that, I think the person who designed a lot of the artwork was 19 years old at the time.
That's crazy.
Is that right? If that's true, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Some nerd from school making bank.
That's
Who
funny.
really fucking love dolphins.
It's funny. They know how to make a dolphin look really good, but they forgot how to make the game good. Like they spent all their effort on good looking sea critters, and that was pretty much it.
I mean, God, maybe if it had just been a straight up dolphin sim, then you know it'd be legendary.
Yeah. I honestly, if they cut the aliens and just made Echo the Dolphin, saving his pod from different sea creatures like octopuses and sharks and shit like that, I think he could have had a pretty solid game out of this.
I mean, and for the most part, that's kind of what it is.
Except for the aliens. I mean, I get 90% of the time you don't see the aliens, and then, speaking of aliens and octopuses, that fucking octopus. I just want to bring that up really quick here. This game does not have a slow down swim button, but you have to sneak by those stupid fucking octopuses, and if you tap the direction pad too fast, it bats you out of the fucking water.
Yeah.
So fuck the...
Oh,
And there is literally no like invincibility frame. Like it will keep battering you until you are dead.
and also we didn't mention the really fucking annoying sound effect. I was going like full Dennis Reynolds family fight with this like boing sound every time it hurt you.
I'm so glad you said that, because I actually thought of you while I was playing this game, and every time you get hit by anything, that dolphin just lets out the worst. I mean, I guess it's a dolphin noise, but whoever wants to hear a dolphin in pain, I don't. And yeah, it is that. I don't care for that sound.
No. Can we turn that down? No, we cannot.
In fact, it's going to be louder than the music, which is meh in this game.
I like the music. I think it really sets the atmosphere, and it kind of has a. It's almost
it set the atmosphere. I'm already angry. Give me death metal.
Yeah, fair enough. But I don't know. There's something kind of. It's weird. I've always thought the music in Echo sounds watery, and that's a weird thing to say, but it really ties in really well and kind of sells a sense of isolation and solitude. I don't know why. It just has that, I don't know, ethereal quality to it.
Was that a Metalocalypse
big
reference?
Word.
Like,
is that what?
Is that a Metalocalypse reference? This album is recorded for fish.
It was not. I'm not aware of that, but I'm going to look that up. But yeah, this music was recorded for fish. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I really like it. I mean, I can hear, thankfully, music from the start of the game in my head right now. I think I've blocked out everything that happens after that, but no, it's one of those things, because I played this so much as a kid. When I hear it, it just takes me right back there, and maybe that's it. Maybe I am seeing this through rose-tinted glasses, but I like the music in this game. The sound effects less so. Like every time you have to use the sonar and every time you get hit, that can all go in the bin. But music-wise, I really enjoy it.
Yeah, I think the sound effects wreck what would have otherwise been a pretty decent sound experience, because I think the music on its own doesn't really, like, it's not offensive. It pretty much is what you want it to do, right? Like you notice it if you listen for it.
Be there but not be memorable.
Yes. Yeah. I don't know.
Well, there you go. Oh, I've waited so long just to get some of those frustrations out, and I still have no idea where I'm going to land on this game. I really don't.
Well, here's a good
we
question.
should get into it.
Would you play Echo Junior or Echo 2? Or this weird Dreamcast one?
I have Echo 2 Tides of Time sitting upstairs, ready to go.
Another time-based story.
Yeah, there you
go. You know, because what
this
the fuck
time Echo goes back in past to get the other testicle for that thing.
Yeah, I mean, what else is it going to be? It can't be Echo's adventures against the tuna.
Maybe the whole game is about him returning the ball to the past so that the past Echo can go to the past and pick up the ball.
Yes. There you go. It's like the Infinity Stones. Echo has to put all the Infinity Balls back where they belong in the timeline, or else Loki's going to happen or something. I don't know. Yes, the thing is, I've been waiting to play. I say I've been waiting to play. Like, I always told myself I'll play the second one when I beat the first one, and I've had that sitting there for quite some fucking time now.
There's going to be like those movies where they pull the old tome out of the library there and blow the dust off it.
100%. I don't have the Dreamcast one, but one day I will play Echo 2. It's just going to take me a minute, guys.
That's a quick play.
I'm not there yet. Maybe
anybody on the hero tier, remember you have your quick play option available thanks to Alan.
You son of a bitch. Hoisted by my own petard.
By all accounts, Echo for the Dreamcast looks like it got relatively favorable reviews. This is just looking at like what I pulled up on Google and Metacritic and all that shit. But how in the world, I don't understand how this game got any sequels. I mean, aside from Echo Junior, which was basically their redo to say like, okay, let's make one that kids can play, actually.
Yeah, it's really hard.
Right, like...
I mean, the only thing I can think of is that everybody has favourable memories of Ecco the Dolphin because they only ever played the first couple of levels, and they don't know about the Stygian nightmare that happened in the back end. And it's just like, oh yeah, that cute little dolphin game. Yeah, you know, that's we liked that. Okay, cool. Yeah, we'll make another one for you.
Yeah, like I rented that a couple times. Like
exactly.
It's pretty much it.
Did you ever beat it? No.
No, I just played around with it. Like me,
I
like I never got out of the first
but the
part.
developers showed up and beat me.
Yeah. Well, by all accounts, the developer of this game, like this was his baby. This is a game that he always wanted to make, and he took it to Sega, and they weren't interested. And then he sort of threatened to leave to go to EA, I think. And Sega were just like, okay, well, what do we need to do to keep you here? And it was just like, let me make Ecco the Dolphin, and the rest is horrible, horrible history.
Well, we've been shitting on this game pretty good.
Yeah. Well.
I don't even know if it's deserved or not. I don't know.
Hold open the blowhole. I got some more.
All right, is there anything else?
No, I don't think so. I think let's score this thing and get out of here. All right, let's start with who should we start with even? Alan, should you do the honors because you finally, as a congratulations once again for finishing this game. Why don't you tell us what you thought?
I did it so you guys don't have to, and I implore you, for the sake of your own mental health, don't do it. I mean, listen, I have huge nostalgic love for Echo the Dolphin, and I have taken shit for that love for 30 some odd years. I know you're not listening, but if you are, you know who you are. And it's quite unlike any other game I've ever played. Like, if we were scoring this based on ambition alone, like, it'd be a 10 out of 10, because they took the most unlikely of protagonists, made a beautiful looking game about a dolphin, which, again, there is a good reason why a lot of people's initial memories of this game are very fond. You know, it looks great. I like the music. I think it sounds good. The animation, this looks like a real fucking dolphin that you're just having a little fun with, playing around, splashing around. The thing is, not many people got all that far into it, so they are blissfully unaware of the hair-tearing, soul-shredding difficulty that comes later on in this game. And I think it's an example of their ambition outstretching their reach, or whatever the fucking saying is. Because this guy, whoever it was, obviously had an idea of what he wanted to do. And I think it does a lot of things right. You know, it is a puzzle game. You know, I like that all of Echo's attacks and abilities are what you'd expect out of a dolphin. And a lot of it makes sense when you look at it from the point of view that you're not supposed to beat this game in a weekend. You know, you're supposed to spend time poking around every nook and cranny of these levels until you figure out how you were supposed to solve this puzzle. And I can imagine when you do, there is an incredible, or at least back in the day, there was an incredible sense of satisfaction from having beaten one of these levels. And then you take down the password, which is mercifully short. I've spoken about that before. And maybe you put it down, play something else, and come back to it. And it's not a difficult game to pick up and put down. The game is difficult by design. It's also difficult by bad design. But I think if you take it in chunks, it's doable. But please, again, I beg you, if you are going to play Ecco the Dolphin, do it on Nintendo Switch Online. Do it with save states, with rewinds and whatnot, because I am very happy that I beat the game and I can finally put this one to rest after 30 some odd years, but I don't think the stress of it is worth it. It is brutally difficult. And I wasn't having fun by the end of it. For all the enjoyment that my time with this game has brought me, everything sort of from the last third kind of put a damper on that. I don't think this is the worst game ever made. I'm going to give it far more than it deserves, though. Oh, God, what do I rank this thing? Originally, I was thinking I was going to come into this and give it a 7. I can't now, not after Welcome to the Machine and the final fight. I'm going to bump it down to I'm going to give it a 6, and that is with a generous helping of nostalgia. That is rose-tinted glasses all the way. I'm retired from playing Ecco the Dolphin. I've beaten it. I don't know that I'll ever play it again. Yeah, that's it. I'm done. Winner and still champion. And I'm going to retire as champion.
Yeah, that's fair. So it's a 6?
Yeah, I think I'll give it a 6. It's more than it deserves. I'm aware of that. But
what is that Hobbit?
Very
like,
polite.
I like half of you half as much as you deserve, and whatever.
Less
I
than
already
half of you, half as much as whatever.
Yeah. Oh, man. All right, Brian. Go for it.
Well, thanks for letting me, go after that. I can guarantee you one thing: I am never going to play this game again. Not even just out of curiosity. The curiosity has been satisfied. I don't like this game. Games are supposed to reward you as you progress through them. This game just gets unnecessarily more complicated as you progress through the game. Like Alan was saying, the machine just seems like something that might be mid-game, early game, or something that you would get upgrades easier than finding the 3 dolphins in a level just to get one upgrade. Then you don't get anything else for the rest of the game, really. But neither here nor there. That's just me bitching. Overall, I don't find the concept of this game to be very fun. I don't find the difficulty level being designed into the game to be very friendly to the user, like the people they want to play the game. And the reason for it is because he didn't want people to beat it on a rental, which it boils down to he wants people to pay money for the game to him, not to a rental company. And that's what it was. So it's a little bit of greed about why he did it. As well as this being his masterpiece, well, he really needs to, get off the dolphins, because quite honestly, they're not a good character for a video game. Even though he managed to make it work, he really went too far with the time travel and the Atlantis, and then a dolphin's the only person that can save the world, even though he has to go back and create a time paradox to do it. It's a little bit too ridiculous for me, and it's especially somebody who likes time travel. Like, it's one of the genres I really enjoy in literature and movies, and obviously video games, as I've talked about many of times. So this is just not done well for time travel mechanic, because there has to be consequences to traveling back in time. That's what makes time travel kind of interesting. So the story itself is just a disjointed mess to me, and I just don't think the alien aspect was necessary. They could have kept it just dolphins in the ocean, and it would have probably been a lot more fun, especially with the amount of area they could have had to have a battle between, like, Ecco the Dolphin and a great white shark or something, or a blue whale. You make use of what you have that's in real life, rather than make up aliens for no other reason than to shoehorn in the story. Controls of the game, I found them very difficult to get used to, even master. I wasn't playing with a Sega controller, so obviously the 3 buttons were on a SNES style controller. It worked fine. Very responsive. It was a 8-bit Do Pro 2, so it's a good controller, but I still found it hard to line Echo up to where you needed to be and get him to perform the action in the direction I wanted him to perform the action. I found the crystals to be just frustratingly annoying as quote-unquote puzzles, which I don't believe this really is a puzzle game. It's more of a find the right thing game, as opposed to solve a mystery. The mystery being, where the fuck is that crystal? I've been floating around this stupid level for a half an hour and I can't fucking find it. That's the mystery of this game. What else did I have going on my mind? Enemies. They're needlessly difficult. You can't avoid them. There's no block. There's no way to get Echo to change directions. You have the dash thing there. If you could use it as a defensive maneuver, that'd be great. The breathing mechanic I found annoying. Not so much that it existed, just that I wasn't very good at it. So it loses a point because I should be instantly good at everything, because that's how I roll. Other than that, I don't think I'm going to shit on the game that much more. The graphics are great. It's quintessential Sega Genesis graphics, and Sega, I will admit, they do have beautiful graphics in a lot of games. I haven't seen a really ugly game from Sega, at least from first-party Sega or Sega exclusives. Music, I can't really remember much of the music. That might have been, I couldn't hear it over my own yelling at the screen. So maybe that's why I have a little bit of a different opinion on the music. But I'm going to give this game a solid, healthy 3 out of 10.
Nice.
Yeah, justified.
Yeah.
I can't
Don't
argue.
play it. Yeah, don't play it if you're a Super Nintendo kid who's a little Echo curious. You'll just get mad.
Ugh. I would. Ugh. You know what?
And it's not even that it's a hard game. Like we were talking in the pre-recording about Cuphead, and it's a fucking damn near, well, not impossible game, but it's hard as fuck. But it's satisfyingly hard. This game is not. It's frustratingly hard.
All right.
Can't
Sam,
disagree.
take it
Shall
away.
I'm gonna be brief and pretty harsh. I think like this. You can file this in the "How did this get made" category. Like we kind of explained a little bit that I don't think it's rumors. I think it's pretty documented how this game came into being, and I think Alan nailed it. Brian also nailed it. It's just not fun. And I think that's really where my main gripe is going to come from. Because, yeah, you can make a game where a dolphin's floating around and travels time and fights aliens, and that all sounds really cool on its surface. But when you make a game that sucks absolute ass, and that's what this game is, and I'm not even going to apologize for it. It's not a get good. It's not a, you got to give it a chance. You got to play it over and over, and you'll start to like it. This game fucking sucks, and that's all there is to it. I probably, I haven't checked the stats on my Switch Online, but I put a few sessions into this and really had to schedule time. I had to really force myself to play this. I was like, all right, I'm going to work, and then I'm going to do the laundry and the dishes, and then I'm going to play like a couple levels of Echo because I know I have to, or else I'm not going to, because I didn't want to. This people have nostalgic memories for this, maybe like, either you had this and you played it a bunch, and so maybe you kind of ended up getting it after, subjecting your brain to it enough that you've convinced yourself that it's good, or you're like me and you rented it once or twice and just kind of like fucked around in the opening pool, or maybe found a way to get, a couple levels into it. But like the dolphin handles like shit. It's hard to control. It doesn't, you can get upgrades to your sonar and your whatever the fuck, but you have to go through these really convoluted and difficult side quests to do so. I don't know. Like I said, you don't, if there was any playtesting to this, it's not like, well, let's make the game a little bit better. No, we'll just throw some shit in to make it a little bit, great. You have save states or not save states, password system, and you don't do any game overs and stuff. Like, you want a fucking pat on the back for that? You didn't make a game that was fun. So what do I care if you have passwords and unlimited continues if I don't want to fucking continue playing it all? Like, that doesn't make any sense. So that's why I think Cuphead is fun, is because Cuphead has an actual fun gameplay loop and gives you as many tries as you want. Echo gives you as many tries as you want, and it fucking sucks. Like, I'm giving this is like a 1.5. This is not even, I wouldn't even suggest, the only reason I would ever suggest playing this game is if you're just curious about it from a historical perspective, as this is a game that exists and it has a lot of, I don't even know. Like, I don't know why. I mean, it's a notorious game for its difficulty. So yeah, if you want to kind of just dip a toe and see what it's all about, and then watch a walkthrough of someone who's made their life's goal to be flawless at it, fine. But it's not worth playing. I didn't gain anything by playing it. I wish I would have spent that time doing something else, to be honest. So that's a 1.5, and that's a 1.5 that I'm giving it because the sea creatures looked pretty as they were kicking my ass.
Every time one of us scored this game, we knocked half the value of the last person's score off.
Oh, what does it mean?
It's a nice range. I love it when we're so different in our opinions. And, listen, I'll put my hands up and just say, you guys are righter than I am.
Fuck this game.
You have the nostalgia with this. Like, that's clouded my judgment on games as well, is when you remember the happiness you had as a kid.
I'm fully blind. I'm fully blind.
But you remember the happiness you had as a kid more than the game itself, and then when you play the game again and it's not as fun, you still have that nostalgia. It's just like, now you're questioning what you thought, like, how do you thought like this as a kid? So I get where you're coming from, Alan. You're not wrong. It's just, you're not right.
I was just an idiot, basically. I was an idiot child. That's all there is to it.
Oh, man, if there was ever a time to turn off your Genesis, that was it.
Yeah, this would have... If this was the only video game available to me, like, I would just have not played video games. Like,
I would have read a book.
Yes. I mean, I read
Jesus.
books anyways, but, like, man,
Oh, I did too.
fuck this game. I will never play it again. I was even thinking at some point, like, well, you know, it's usually, you know, in box with manual, it's usually like $15 because it's not a scarce game by any stretch, but like still I'm like, but even for that price, like I wouldn't even buy it just to add it to my collection. I just think it sucks and I don't even want it. I don't want it anywhere near anything that I have.
And just remember, guys, you know, if you're going to give me a quick play for Echo 2, maybe consider somebody else at Retrotopia.
No, I won't do it.
I don't know how to do a review.
You know what? The quick play,
It's
I will
my
say,
first day.
I will say, let's just put it out there. Like Echo 2 is off the table for a quick play. Let's say like Echo Junior would be okay for a quick play. Oh, the Scooty Puff Junior.
Deep Futurama reference, nice.
Yeah.
And it's related to time travel as well.
Yeah, that one is
Bang!
too.
You nailed it.
God, I love
Boom.
Futurama so much. All right, well, I'd say that does it. I quit video games forever. Bye, everyone.
That's a reasonable.
Yeah.
That's a reasonable
It's
reaction.
reasonable.
I feel so much better now. I've gotten all of this off my
Dude,
chest.
I bet.
Though. I feel
Luckily,
good.
we can get our rage out because next episode's going to be WCW NWO Revenge.
Ooh yeah.
All right, well, until next time, everyone, just when you buy tuna next time, make sure it's not dolphin safe.
Cream of the crop. Hi there, everyone. We here at Retrotopia couldn't do what we do without the support of our Patreons. And to that effect, we would like to shout out our heroes at the hero tier. So a huge Retrotopia thank you from all of the hosts here to Andrew Wright, Wildcard, Unbuckled Cape, Makeshift Money, Sergeant Ombre, Randy Berridge, BCOS19, J Nasty 15, Chris Kaplane, Jack Datchler, Sir Busts-a-Lot, Big Kid 782, Super Dave, Big Brown Dog, Studstill Smash, Fallen Snow Kiku, Radmac, Calin Hygus, Old Man Gamer, Raging Demon, Radioactive Hooli, Blue Shell Discharge, The Big Deal, Dylan Jacobson, Game Genius, H, Brother Retro, Shane's World, Ovindley, Brian Spritzer. So thanks as always for your support, guys. It truly means the world to us and means we can keep doing this little thing that we love so much. Game on.